Today, there are more choices when it comes to patterns, fabrics, and the tools used to quilt. Although this craft has evolved over the years, what defines a quilt remains the same.
But by definition, a quilt is 3 pieces, top, batting middle, insulating middle, bottom, backing, and that piece of the tradition continues.
It's not a blanket, it's not a coverlet, it might be a comforter. But the technical definition of a quilt is a fabric sandwich or a 3-layered textile, where you have a backing that's quote-unquote normal fabric, a decorative top, which may or may not be pieced like this one is, or patchwork, and then an insulating layer, which in the United States we call it batting. Other parts of the world call it wadding.
In a real quilt, they will be quilted together, and the quilting stitch is just a running stitch that's between 8 and 16 stitches per inch.
While the technical definition of a quilt has not changed, the tools and fabric choices have, making quilts easier to construct than ever before.
Long arms are bigger. They are based on a table, a frame, with parallel rails where the quilt is loaded onto the machine, and there are different ways of doing it.
The biggest difference is that on a stationary machine, you have a hold of the fabric and you've got this much room to work with, and you are moving that quilt around. King size or little, doesn't matter, you are moving it around. With this machine, with a long arm, it's the machine that's moving and not the quilt. So there's it's way less stress on you.
Lynette Mart taught herself to hand quilt in the early 1990s. Today, she is a master long-arm quilter with her own business located in her basement. She uses top-of-the-line machinery alongside state-of-the-art technology to provide her clients exactly what they want.
So this is a bed quilt for a high school girl, and she told me she wanted it to have some hearts on it and kind of just be sweet, just something, and I know exactly what that means. You want it to be sweet and pretty. And
there has been a real change in fabrics over the years. When I owned a fabric shop, and at that time everything was poly cotton, double knits, no straight cottons. They just weren't out there. Now, we quilters prefer 100% cotton, and there is a reason for that. It's so much easier to work with.